Okay. Let's see what kind of damage we can do here. So, this still be a little tender. I may not want to do this. I have picked a lot out, and a lot has decided to fall out on its own, more or less. And so that's brown rubbery stuff on the side there. It's just laminated up. Let's see. You see how flexible that is. This new nail material forming over. It's coming out. It's continuing to form. It's going to keep trying to make cover nails, even though I'm trying to get under it and get all the old damage off. And I've got even more material coming out now that I've freed the nails. So, but it's all good. It's all got to come off. Old, new, whatever, until we get back to the bottom of the pile. It's just dead skin. Nothing to get excited about. I am not taking off living tissue. Ooh-wee. And anytime it's too much, just go on down the line. Find another finger to it's just a cover nail. It's way too big. I've been doing this before, actually scaling off the surface. I've been waiting for it to peel off on its own, but we're getting down there now. Oh boy. Now that's, you can see that's just a layer of dead cuticle skin. And it's going to pull out from underneath. Oh yeah. Woo-wee. See? Underneath the nail. That's how that works. This is just remnants of a top nail, and this is some brownish stuff that's probably come out from under here. It comes out, this rubbish will come out, and it will try to fill up these cracks. It's rubbery. It's poorly formed, but given a day or two or a week, it will fill up all these imperfections in the nail, and then the body will put out another wet coat, a lacquer coat on top of it, and we'll try to make it look like a nail again, because that's what the body does. It takes the mess you made and try to fix it. It can't fix it. The body can't get the damage you've done off, but it can put out a scab, and that's what nails are. They're hopefully better looking scabs, but they're just scabs. It's all made out of the same stuff, dead cell material, I'm pretty sure. Okay, that was a little tender. There you go. Just trying to get off anything loose that wants to come off. Helping it along. And you see that that's the process of lamination. You get some skin, and then you get some nail material over it this way, then you get some skin over it this way. It turns into undifferentiated blob on the front of your finger. But when it sheds, it sheds. And that'll break back, and you can see that this is just this is a solid all the way up to here now. When this comes off, see, you thought the nail was out to there, but it was just this scrum, and it was sitting there. And when I peel this off, you'll see that this is just another layer of either very thin nail or skin. Depends on which way it wants to pick. If it wants to pick that way, it's nail. And if it wants to come that way, it's skin. And that did not pull out, it just broke off. But it's also just more dead laminated cuticle material. So that's a flake now that's, this is being revealed. This is a fault line right here. And that whole thing is wanting to peel up now that I've deviled it at the front edge, which may not be convenient. I don't necessarily want it to all come off right now. Getting close there. Ooh. Trying to get under that corner and pick that piece of dead cuticle skin up so I can get a hold of it and pull it. See, it's pulling out. That's a wing nail that's been formed there. And the cuticle nail is it's come out over and laminated that dead cuticle down underneath. I'm liable to be a little bit of a mess there. If I pull it, it'll bleed pretty good. Woo! Yep. That's going to be a mess. But this whole fingernail is breaking up. And sometimes you just can't help it. You got to do what you got to do. So it's probably going to limit my desire to pester that very much more. Ouch, 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 ouch. Got a little overeager there. But it got a lot of the crap out, and you've just got to, because it's blocking in the nail material now. This stuff back here is finally freed up, and it's wanting to get out. And it's just piling up behind this crud that's embedded in skin. This is planted so firmly that this new material can't really make it out around it. I was going to do more, but that's going to bleed pretty good, so I might have to go wash it. So let's see what we can do here. So, you can decided not to stop bleeding almost immediately, which it normally does, like that did. This one I got into the next layer over. But you can see how that, you can look at that curve out there before it fills up with blood. That's actually that's the cuticle line out there. That's that's the collar. All of that is dead material that has just been pushed out and out and out and out and out. It's all built up. And it's all got to come off. You can see it there too. That's the collar. It's a collar of dead skin. And it's huge. It's gigantic. All of that on the front of my fingers is dead skin. It's all callus, all of it. And you can see that seawall right there, that cliff. All of this is material that's gone away. It was laminated right up to the top surface of the nail. And over, because several nails have come off and a lot of skin has come off. It was much higher and higher and higher than that. But since it all looks the same, more or less, you just kind of miss it. just let that go. You see how that cuticle nail is going to try to get round. The cuticle, I mean, around the nail. It's the more the nail, which is all scrum, the more it scales back, the more you'll see that this is like a drawstring here. It's coming down and down and down, and overlapping the nail bed in every direction. But before, I had a nail that came all the way out here and all the way out here. Probably all the way out here. Because a lot of this has happened last. I was pulling out dead cuticle material from back here. I wasn't making any progress in terms of backing up onto the nail bed. But I was taking out loads and loads and loads of impaction. It wasn't until the nails broke loose and started to move out and they started to break up. And then the front edge of those started to scale back. And then that uncovered this front leading edge here. And then this front edge of these callus material started to dry up. And then this started to scale off this way. But this hasn't been coming off, but it's been coming off in sheets like this has. This has been coming out a lot longer than this has. But now it's like a thaw after a freeze, and you get a day where it's above freezing, and then on the beginning of the second day, it all just starts to flood. You know, water starts pouring off of roofs, and the snow starts disappearing. So this has gone into full throttle reverse now, and it's all trying to break up and move away. But this, there's no telling how much buildup. This nail is still built up, and how high, if I were to take all this out, how deep a hole that would be until I get down to the nail bed. I still don't know. So that's a remnant of top nail there that wants to come off. A lot of this stuff is I'm not going to dig at that, but it'll be loosening up here too. There's more and more and more. It's dead. And this is a folded edge. It goes around and back up under. So when you're picking this out and it peels off, it breaks, tears right on this front leading edge, all the way around. And you can pull that strip out, and then this front leading edge will be loose, and it'll start to scale back like sunburned skin. So what you've done is you've ripped the hem, they say. And that's not going to bleed. This just was because there was already a layer there that had gone away, and it started to dry up. And it'll leave these cavernous voids, but there's so much material here, and it's under such pressure that this will just roll right back down and glue itself invisibly to the nail again. So no matter how much material you take out, largely I think because of the pressure, it'll close right back up. And this is going to tear. I haven't gotten enough of a piece. Yep, see, I just pulled off. But all of this has been in there for years and years and years, and I didn't even notice it. But as you start to take it out and it starts to dry up, then it becomes an irritant. Then you become aware of it. Then your body knows that it's waste. It's not supposed to be there. And it starts complaining, Take this out. Just trying to roll that off. If I can't pull it up from and out from under the nail, see I left a piece of it down there, you can see it. But it's all laminated up and under the nail. Dead skin. And that broke. That did not pull out the way I wanted it to. You see that lip there? That's all dead. And tomorrow another layer will be drying up, and I'll be able to get it out. And the object of the game here is to free up all of this laminated in dead stacks of nails and trash so that it can move on out. And this is just a big callus that's rolled up and over the nail bed in front. And all of this stuff that's packed into my thumb, which you see the white lumps under there, that's all dead skin, all dead cell material, and it's filling up the thumb. And this all creates pressure that this just pushes right around. I've taken this out. I picked this out down to here 3 or 4 times, all the way around. And there's just always more material that just pushes right back up. Just more and more and more. Hopefully you don't have an extreme case like this. But I know that this has been accumulating on my body for 65 years. Anyway. So, and that's a lot. You know, if you bite through your cuticle every day, you know, if you're biting the corner here of your thumbnail every day, and every day you bite through this cuticle skin, every day that cuticle dies and another cuticle forms. And the old cuticle doesn't necessarily go anywhere. Just where you bit it, it might be gone. But the rest of it, the remnant of it, just stays there. And another cuticle forms and it pushes up under, stacks up and stacks up and up, and a new one, and all of the others will be, dead ones will be sitting on top. Well then, and you're, at the same time, your body is flushing out this nail material, making new nails on top of it. It starts to stacks up and up and up, and this nail material starts to lap over it to the side, and your nails are no longer straight on the side. At a certain point, this stack gets so high that your nail doesn't follow the nail bed anymore. It's not parallel on the sides. It starts to spill out over the dead skin that's accumulated, and then you get petal-shaped nails. It's okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've only been doing this every day for 3 years. Trying to get back. See, none of this would have been necessary if anybody had ever told me that I had to free my cuticles from my nails every day, and showed me how to do it and said, you got to keep it flexible, you got to oil it or do whatever you need to do to make sure your cuticle stays, the first place, that it's alive, that you have living cuticle there, and that it's kept flexible and not allowed to stick to the nail, because as soon as it sticks to the nail stops moving, surprisingly enough. And if the nail doesn't move out the way it's supposed to, the dead cell material that's supposed to leave the body that way and be trimmed off, it starts getting jammed up under your skin. And I've got pictures on my gallery, and I'm going to make a video here shortly and show them, of people whose hands are not just swollen up. Your hands don't have to be swollen up. But if they're deadly white, like cod fillets, absolutely dead white, that's all dead cell material under there, guys, that's hiding your blood vessels from view. That's why your skin doesn't have any color. That's why you see all these big guys with absolutely deathly white skin. They look like corpses. It's because they don't have any blood showing, blood vessels. I saw a guy. It's on this phone, as a matter of fact. He was huge. His legs were as big around as my body. And but his nails had absolutely disappeared and accumulated skin. And his nails were abbreviated. He had his big bumpers on the front, and his nails were this long. And I know that his nail bed is all the way back here under the skin. And what little nail he had was radiused out like that. In the textbooks, they actually have they've named all the different shapes, and they don't realize what causes it. They've given them all Latin names. He's just stoppered up his son. Fingers, like he's put a tourniquet on them. And all of that dead cell material is accumulating under his skin. And in his fingers, it's like my fingers have skinnied down quite a bit. But here's a dead giveaway. As if your fingers are straight like that, from back here all the way out to there, And you see the double wasting in, where the knuckle is the widest part of the finger. People who have a lot of accumulation of dead skin, that'll all be, those two humps, those concave sections will all be filled up. And these will be dead straight on the side, on both sides, over here. Right. And on his fingers, this section of the finger was a little thinner, but back here was very thick. But from right here back, you got the red collar, but from right here back was dead white, deadly white. I'm going to have to make that video here shortly. It's going to explain a lot. I can actually look at people's fingers now from across the room and tell exactly what's going on. Not that I have a prayer of actually being able to convince them. Oh, look at that. It just fell out. I left it alone for a day or two. So you see how this is new nail material. It's bubbling up because this is not moving. It's bubbling up here, trying to get out, and it's forming. And if it hardens up, it'll be forming over this dead cuticle material that I haven't gotten out yet. That's still buried down under there, and it's just going to make it more difficult to get out. But if I keep breaking it loose, these nails will continue to move out. Anyway, I'm on the case now. I know what's going on. We won't be fooled again. And that, you see, that's dead cuticle material there. That's wrapped underneath, down in there. And if I don't get it all, or I can't get it all without bleeding myself or whatever, it's okay, because tomorrow it's going to be drying up. And it'll be easier to get. And this just shows how it's all laminated in on the front in dead skin. It's all dead skin. It's all callus. And this continues all the way around. All of this surface skin here is all dead callus. It's like I've dipped my fingers in latex And it's just got a dry rubbery coat. It's like, or if you've ever done woodworking and you got a wood glue on your fingers, and later you could just peel it off when it dried. So that's all here. You see layers and layers and layers of it. That's a layer. You see, just a layer of skin right there. It's okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't want to pick at that. That's real tender. But that'll show you where I bit the nail. And that laminated up in there. You see? How that's arched up there. It didn't work out. It's not stuck too good. Leave it for tomorrow. And this is still radiused here across here. It's overlapped the nail and it's cutting the corner. So you see the layers there again, right? It's all layers of dead skin. And this newish nail has come out. It's pretty much too big, you know. It's trying to go back out and cover up everything. Calm down, Randy. I'll let you have your spot back here in a minute. Randy is very proprietary about this sofa. She knows it's her sofa. Used to have a broken down chair in the dining room that my dog sat in when I was a kid. I came home from school one day and I was talking to my mother. She was in the kitchen. I could see the sink from where I was, and she had her back turned. She was doing something. And my dog, which was really her dog, Blanca, came up. And she sat down in front of me on the floor and looked at me and started to growl. And I said, Blanca, what are you growling for, honey? And my mother turned around and looked at it from the kitchen, and she said, David, she said, I believe you're sitting in her chair. And I got up and she hopped in. That was it. I was in her spot. That's what I mean by laminated. Laminated up under the nail. And you see how the nail is still flattened out. It's supposed to follow the nail bed around and down. Ouch. Have to scale back the nail too, and that's tricky. And you see how that's pushed out. And that'll close back up. Now that when all that's dug out, the cuticle will collapse back down. In a couple of days, you won't be able to tell it. And that's why I decided to start making the videos back in November. It's because it changes every day and you can't go back and you can't see it. You can't show anybody. You can't explain it. You can't remember yourself what it was like last week unless you've kept a kind of a chain of evidence. See, it's the nail that makes this makes that look elongated. If the nail were gone, you would see that the cuticle skin is encroaching on the nail bed, which actually is like this, down there somewhere, and parallel to that on the other side, over there. And it runs all the way back to here maybe, or maybe a little further. And that's supposed to be the shape of your nail, all the way back there. And this is lapped up and over, and when this is gone, you'll see that there's more and more flubber under here. This line actually wants to turn and come follow that curve. Whatever the buildup is here, if that's a quarter of an inch, then this is a 1/4 of an inch here too, even if it's up under here. So if you scale this off and you were to see that bumper, just like that, right, then it would start to look round. It's the nail. And it's the nail is pushing out on the cuticle to the side there, stretching it that way and that way. It's giving the nail its shape. I mean, it's giving the illusion of it being a different shape than what it actually is. Underneath this cover nail, which is just floated out over all this trash, is absolutely uniform. The cuticle is all one piece, so if there's a 1/4 of an inch of it of buildup, you've got a 1/4 of an inch all the way around. And when this nail is gone, you'll see that it's circular, and that it's even though the nail bed is long and rectangular, the way this is building up, it's drawing down. The cuticle is like a drawstring, and it's once it overruns the nail bed, it draws down and down and down and down and down. And if I had let this skin lap up and over the front, then you would see this bumper would be on top of here, and you could watch it. You could watch that nail just disappear as that cuticle line got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And then I might have a fingernail there that looked exactly like those girls who've got the little chip of a toenail embedded in skin on their toes, on their feet. Because then the nail is trapped all the way around, and no nail material is getting out at all, and you've completely stoppered up your skin, and your feet or your toes or your feet and your legs just swell up and up and up and up and up until they pop. That's what psoriasis really is. It's just a buildup of dead cells, dead waste cell material in the body due to a failure to do proper nail, fingernail, and toenail maintenance, by and large, for the most part, I think. And you see that's starting to take on a round shape. When all this is gone and this collapsed down, and this is gone, it'll look absolutely like a bathroom drain. So, I think that's enough damage for one day. But it's like this. It's all dead skin. It's all old damage from years and years and years ago. And it's all got to go. And everything that you get off is gone. And whatever problems you have, they're not going to be problems caused by the stuff that's gone away. They're going to be problems that are caused by the stuff you still got. Well, it's just laminated. See that? Look at that. That has really been obstinate, that bubble there. It has not wanted to shut off. It's planted. It's much smaller, it's much less than it was. I broke that loose. Now for the first time in 40 years or whatever. That hurt. It's a side piece. Side nail. It's stuck on the side there. You know, this may be small ball, but I think it's big in terms of your health. It just shows how important small ball is. This is something I should have been doing every day. I would not be doing this if I had taken 5 or 10 or 15 minutes every day to deal with my fingernails. This is a direct result of poor nail maintenance, just basic body ignorance and negligence. That's it. And I'm convinced it's hundreds of millions of dollars of wasted healthcare money. Came out right there. Let's digging that crescent out. That's where the cuticle built up in that semicircular shape. And you'll see it pick out, and you'll see the gully. It will be revealed. That trench that it's been laying in. It's going to laminate into. But it's just like filling up an old ditch, you know. You dig a ditch out in clay, and then you put some loose fill back in it, and when you come back later and you dig it out, you can tell where the old ditch line was. It's right there. Okay. And that is just callus right there. Tits again. Just laminate on the front of my finger forever. Fine, fine, fine. there should be some softer stuff, but it's liable to be sitting on soft tissue, and I don't want to dig it into it by accident. Could be pretty tender. Ouch. It's going a little deep there. So now you can see that's laminated too, right there. And that runs right up underneath. There. That's not bleeding, that's separate. That's a separate layer of skin runs underneath. And I don't want to push it because that's a little tender right there. But that's the nature of the way the nail and the skin interleave. It can make it hard to pull it out or let it go. But you can see that breaking back, and you can see the layers. See? That's laminated. Yeah, that's a stretched cord right there that runs right up under there. Mm. Ouch. Yeah, that's a little dicey. But a little hand washing, a little scrubbing, scrubbing with the cuticle brush, and we'll be back at it tomorrow, This is layers and layers and layers of dead cuticle skin right there. Okay. I pulled out strings like that over and over and over and over and over. There's always another one so far. But eventually, we'll get back there, and there'll only be one living cuticle. And you see how this is radiused across here? That's because the cuticle has overlapped the nail. Well, I could go ahead and pick all this out, but I think I'll leave off for the day. But see, that's dried up there. It's liable to pick out a colossal void that will be filled back up day after tomorrow with more dead cuticle skin that just rolls in there from this inexhaustible supply here on the outside. The pressure over all these years must have just been incredible. But you don't notice it. You just wind up yelling at your kids. Right? Okay. Hard as a knot. You just see how that skin is rolled right back up in front. See how it laminates right up. That nail is projecting out. This is separate. This is a bumper of dead skin. And that nail, what there is of it, is just projected out over it. It's not attached. You can see I can pull it down. That's not attached to the nail bed or anything. It's just sitting on this callus. And further back, it's just sitting on scrum of nail that's built up and up and up from down here. And this is built up and up and up, and they cover it. Behind this flubber is a stack of dead nail material. And when it stacks up high enough, eventually this nail flattens out and it just flows out over the dead cuticle on the side. And that's when you lose the parallel shape of the nail and your nails go to being paddle shaped. That's so crumbly, I don't think there's any chance I can actually get in there and get it. Sometimes you can almost pry it up with a blunt instrument, more blunt than the X-Acto knife. So there, I did get a little bit of it. It's down in there. And we managed to pull another little chunk. So all that crud was just filled in there. And here you see the cuticle line. It's out here. You see how it's peeling out from underneath. All one strip of cuticle, dead cuticle skin. There's probably a nail flake that was embedded in there. If the light were better, morning light, you could see down in there. I can see down in there. The nail, the nail that's there now has, the new nail material has flowed out and around whatever that obstruction was there in the corner, probably a nail flake. A piece of nail that got left when I was biting my fingernails and it was still stuck in the nail bed. But I didn't get all of it, and then a new cuticle formed and laminated the nail in between layers of skin. And it made a hard lump there, and then the new nail material coming out just went around it and out to the side and bypassed it. You know, the nail is plastic. It's like a pyroclastic flow. It's like a lava. Okay. Well, that's probably enough of a pickfest for one day. I wonder what it's telling me here. Your battery is running low. Some features may be limited. Well, there you go. We'll just go ahead and call it off then, guys. I hope you're getting a clue. I really do. That's what this is for.